Historical games aren't uncommon, not even talking about dragons and knights. Historical in general. The idea of being part of a time, long time ago, and doing things in that era for fun, profit, and perhaps a little bit of history lessons. Except there comes a distinct cut point as well. Usually it's around antiquity, where Trojans, Greeks, and Romans kinda blend together to create the mythological times, you know? But there were people before that, but records get less recorded. So that leads me to Würm. This is a historical game, one that knows what it is and is written by a man who could probably talk all day about his fascination with time before time. The Paleolithic era, the Stone Age, Unga Bunga time, except not really. While there isn't exactly a detailed record, there is archaeological evidence of culture and activities, and Wurm wants you to know that all of these things are real, magic, and probably trying to maim you. So, what are we working with here? Wurm is a 2d6 game, not exactly one that's going out of its way to innovate on the gameplay front. I can't even say you're going to be rolling with an absurd number of modifiers because there isn't any technically. Like our ancestors, Wurm chooses to raw dog life and get straight to the point. But that doesn't mean it's some narrative wishy-washy cave painting simulator. It's a very detailed wishy-washy cave painting simulator. Success levels allow a graduated scale of your abilities, with catastrophic snake eyes to critical or brilliant successes allowing your Neanderthal to push beyond their limits. Characters come in two varieties, long men and the bear men, or in 2025 language, the Rizzlers and the leather daddies of the world. Though you don't really matter all that much. You are part of a tribe that is struggling to survive the end of an ice age, and working with your tribe is very important, especially when you consider that a starting character can technically be young as 11. Instead of attributes or skills, each character will have a set of strengths. These may be the majesty of the aurochs for being better at social activities, possess the fury of the lion to kick some ass, or have the inspiration of the rocks to paint better. Even in prehistory, we have to deal with artists. Each strength provides usually an extra 1d6 to relevant abilities, but may also grant extra health or other major bonuses. Starting characters have 3 strengths, 1 from their people and 2 of their choice. Don't forget these are also totemic animals, their powers being both mystical, mundane, and forcing you not to eat them if you're worshipping them, or, eating a liver of one to get their strength for the time. This also lets you tap into the mana pool, which kind of acts as a floating pool of currency everyone has access to. Use dice, get rewarded, but these are also tied to a totem spirit that the players are aligned with. Pissing them off or using their power for nothingness means that you don't have any mana to help you out with, and it's very difficult to get more, so when Urgak the murderer is attempting to murder you, well, you may be a little bit up shit creek without a paddle. Getting a 4th strength isn't impossible, but you're going to be forced to take a pretty debilitating weakness. -3 eats into a lot of your roll when 2d6 is the best you got. These do lead into talents and secret skills. Talents are more fields of knowledge that the character knows about, like being able to do woodworking or painting from your tribe, but secret skills can be impressive, magical, or combat abilities. Well, magic is kind of a rough term to describe a lot of things that may or may not be real. Most are about granting bonuses to situations or just scaring the shit out of people more often. Because when in doubt, my favorite magic spell will always be poisoning your lunch no jutsu. This does lead into prestige, bravery, and generosity, meaning that you're rewarded for being a good tribesman, though that has the more immediate benefits like getting married or eating better food or sleeping better. But there's also wisdom, which isn't a priority and representative of more spiritual matters. It's weird it isn't in the main too, and it kind of does its own thing. From there, the game is actually pretty simple. Combat can be as in-depth as you let it be, with the complexity of beating a 7 or a 10 being only overshadowed by weapon durability playing a larger part in the game, though it usually boils down to roll a d6 and check the chart. Not to say combat isn't dangerous though, far from it. Combat can be an absolute nightmare if you're fighting something strong or someone who wants to get the drop on you. A few nasty hits and you're bleeding to death on the ground, just like any of these animals you're killing. And that's it really. Hard to talk about a lot of the nitty-gritty in the game like this, as everything is simple to do in the game sense. It's usually just going to be 2d6 and a dream, consult this chart, but it's fairly complex to do in universe. Hunting a woolly mammoth is a task very few can do reliably, but peppering it with spears, trying to guide it into a kill zone close to the tribe, as well as safely away from them to maximize potential meat, furs, and resources from it is inherently interesting. And the game really goes out of its way to explain why and how that part is fun, exciting in its own way. Wurm is written by someone who clearly loves and cares about this time period and knows what's what. Its main issues really boil down to formatting, as you will be flipping back and forth in some parts as well as being just a 2d6 game. But it tries to add everything it can to one game. It even has rules for playing kids to use it as both as an educational tool and to set up characters for an extremely long-winded generational campaign if that's your jam. Wurm is interesting. It's simple and knows what it is. Flawless. Far from it. But nothing is ever truly flawless in an age of bone and stone. My name is Notepad, and this was Wurm. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And many thanks to the Tribal Council for their continued support on the long hunt. Godspeed and good luck.